Hi, everyone. My name is Anthony Caruso III, and I am the publisher of the Capital Sports Report. I am also the host of the Capital Sports Report Live. Tonight, I am joined by Northeast Division One top alcohol funny car driver, Matt Gill. Welcome to the show tonight, Matt.
It's nice to be here. I appreciate you having me.
Matt, for those that do not know, how did you get started in racing?
Just always worked on the car with my father. He's been doing it for 30 years. I never really drove anything faster than a funny car, so I was always working on it. And about 8 years ago, he gave me the opportunity to drive his car. And ever since that, we've won some championships and a lot of races together.
You were following in your father's footsteps with the top alcohol funny car. And you do see that in drag racing where a lot of children follow in their parents' footsteps. What's it like for you to experience that? Is there pressure on you to do that?
Well, there's pressure to live up to how he drove because he was a great driver. So there was pressure there, but getting into a car that's been proven and he puts a lot of work into, as we all do, it made it a lot easier. And I learned from him, and learning from him was, he's one of the best drivers out there. So it's easy to learn from him. And then you kind of you learn it on your own. And as it goes on, you adapt to your own ways of doing things. But you always, in the back of your mind, know that he's the one that taught you it all.
Today, your father is the tuner, the crew chief for the top alcohol funny car. And when you win together. What's that like for you to share those special moments with him?
There's no better feeling. I mean, you don't know when the last win is going to be. So I appreciate every moment that we have together at the races. And I think that's where we get along the best is when we're at the races. There's a lot less pressure than there is at work. And, it means a lot to me to be racing my father. He's taught me a lot, and you just never know when the last race is going to be or whatever. So, and when he's ready to hang it up, then I'll appreciate everything he's done for me, and I'll be happy, for him to move on.
When he does hang it up, would you continue on? Would you continue to race? How would that all work?
I would like to continue racing. I have to learn a lot of the tuning. Otherwise, I'd have to hire somebody. But ultimately, we would like to continue racing.
Have you been able to learn aspects from your father on the tuning side?
I mean, he shows me a couple of things here and there, but I'm working on the clutch all the time. So that's my main focus at the races is to just get the clutch down as best as I can. And he's inside the whole time tuning. So it's tough to do both. The clutch and go in there and tune. So.
And if you had like a substitute driver, then you'd be able to learn the tuning side.
Yeah, I wouldn't want somebody else to be in the car though.
Okay.
It's too much fun.
Since you began driving, you have won 2 Northeast Region championships. They may be even behind you in the Wallies.
Yep.
What was that like for you?
It was good. I mean, the first year I was racing, we actually lost by 1 point to Mickey Farrow. And they wouldn't let us go out West Coast to do one more race because there was too many cars entered. So they wouldn't allow us to go to one more race out West. So we didn't have the opportunity to we had one more race to claim, and they wouldn't let us go out there. So, and then when we ended up winning the championship, I think we won 4 races that year, and that was big for us. So it just proved all the hard work that we put into the car.
And it's been a few years since you last got a championship, but this year, it's like you and DJ Cox Jr. are duking it out for this year's championship.
Well, you got Phil Burkhardt in there too.
Yeah.
But we weren't trying for the championship, the regional championship. We really wanted top 5. We never really go to enough races to get top 5.
Okay.
But now we're in a good position to actually possibly win the championship. But there's 2 other great drivers out there that it's going to be tough to do. So we're going to go to our local race, New England Dragway, and then if we're still in a good position, we'll go to Virginia for the last regional.
Okay. Presently, as of today, as of a few minutes ago, I checked, and you are 5th in the national points and top alcohol funny car. Northeast Division racer DJ Cox is presently 3rd. He took the position from you, and you're 5th. You said that you don't go to enough races to be in a spot to claim the national championship. Could that potentially change this year with you being so close to it?
No, I got something more important, and that's my son's football games. And
Okay.
if I go out west, I'm already missing a couple of them doing the nationals that we're doing on the schedule now. So I don't want to go out west and miss 3 of his games. And they're going to be playoff games. And if he goes to the Super Bowl, and I can still have an opportunity in the future to race a funny car. I will miss these opportunities with my son, watching him play football, which he actually just came home and told me he was the captain. They picked him for captain this year. So that means a lot to him. And I'm very proud of the kid. He's very good and very dedicated to the football. So
Is this Pop Warner High School?
Pop Warner.
Okay.
It's his 3rd year.
What age? What age group?
He's a 9-year-old, so 9-year-olds.
Okay. With the football games, and you said that you don't want to miss them, and you're going to miss some of them. Could they potentially do like a FaceTime for you of the games that you cannot attend?
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I think it's going to be tough to do that because all the tracks we go to have terrible service.
Yes.
So I believe it's going to be tough to do that. But I'll try to see if they could do that. I asked the town to reschedule around my racing, but they didn't like that idea.
For real? You asked that?
Mm-hmm. No, no. I wish, though.
So they play on football on Saturdays, I guess?
Yeah, Saturdays and Sundays. Saturday night, they have a night game, and then the rest of them on Sunday mornings.
Okay. And you're racing Friday through Sunday?
Yeah, as long as I don't go out first round, then if I go out first round, then I'll fly home and watch his games.
Okay. What's that like for you to see your son compete in football? It's got to be like when your father sees you competing in the funny car.
Yeah, I get real emotional watching him. I get very proud of him when I'm sitting there watching him. He's and how good he does and how dedicated he is, and I get emotional when they get a touchdown or. So I never really thought I'd get into it as much as I do, but football is him playing football it makes me very emotional.
Have you thought about coaching, or that could not work with your schedule of with your job and with racing?
Yeah, it couldn't work with my schedule. They do practicing every day from 5:30 to 7:30, and then they have a game on Sunday. It'd just be tough to do. Very tough for the schedule I have.
Okay.
And my daughter she just graduated last year from junior dragsters. So we got her an S10 pickup truck to race that I'm still trying to get back together and get her on the track for. So that's something else to add into the schedule. So, and I'm excited for her to
stuff going on.
I know I'm excited for her to get into it because watching her when she was racing junior dragsters, that made me emotional too. Just how proud I was of her driving it and how good she did, and very proud of my kids.
So she aged out of juniors?
Yeah. And she just got her license recently, her car license. So
okay.
Just scary.
The S Every parent says that for some reason.
Yeah.
The S10, is it like well, now it's Taylor Nobile. Is it like her black pickup truck that she races?
Yeah, just not as nice as that one, but it is. It's just like that one. So we're
Okay.
not really sure what it can do either yet because it had the person we bought it from. It was geared for a eighth mile, so we're not sure what it can do in the quarter mile yet.
What do you have to do to it, or is it ready to go now for her to race?
Well, we re-geared it, and then we re-geared it so it's for a quarter mile, and we're gonna put a gas carburetor on it because it has an alcohol one on there.
Okay.
And then I think we just got to get time for her to go up there. She's got a job too that she works quite a bit. So on top of that, in school, it's tough to get her up there.
Okay. Matt, 2 weeks ago, when you were at Atco Dragway, you
Yep.
shared a very special moment. You shared the winner's circle, victory lane winner's circle with first time winner Tom Fox Jr., his father, your father, and yourself. What was that moment like for you guys?
That was awesome. I mean, it was a good father son duo right there, and it was for to be part of their first win was it was great to see how happy they were, and we've known them for a while, and they're good friends of ours, so that meant a lot to us. You know that was up there on one of our top wins because of that.
Because of the special bond that you guys shared from
Yeah,
it.
and it was the father son. They worked very hard, and they've always worked very hard to get these wins, and they finally
Yes.
got one, and it was great to see. We were very proud of him, very happy for him.
Yes, and I had Tom on last week. I don't know if you knew that, but I had Tom on last week, and he talked about how there was some nervousness because it was first final round,
Yep.
and then when he was facing Danny Dietrich, he said that they both had problems after the hit where they both smoked the tires, and he was like, "No, he's not getting this win over me. This is my win," and
Yep.
he got the win.
Yep.
It
We were
was,
right behind him watching. So
yeah, it was pretty cool to see that and well to hear that since I wasn't able to make it to actually hear that he kept in it to get the win and being that uh, it's his home track and he only lives what 10 minutes away.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
very short distance from his house, so
Yep. It was
um,
cool to see.
yeah. This season, what are your remaining races? There is several divisionals left. You you have at least one national event left, Maple Grove. I don't know what other ones you're going to claim on the national schedule. Could you tell our audience what other events you are going to
But
go to?
we're gonna go to New England Dragway, our home track, in 2 weeks, and then after that, we're gonna go to Maple Grove National,
Okay.
and the Charlotte National is a week after, so that's gonna be tough for us to do. I don't think we'll do that. And then we'll go to Virginia, the regional. Um, they just put some of our cabinets in some of their the garages and stuff. And then we go down to Dallas for the national down there because they did all their suites in our cabinets with our cabinets. So
Okay.
we enjoy going down there. They take care of you. It's a stampede of speed the whole week, so it's a good event to
Yeah.
go to.
So you said Charlotte's out because it's too close after Maple Grove.
Yeah, it's tough for us to do back to back races. I got
Okay.
I got a short crew, and they're all volunteers, so it's tough to get them. And me and my father working at the same company is tough to get both of us out the door for extended periods of time.
Okay. With Virginia, a few years ago, or maybe last year, one time recently, over the past few years, it was like a double event, double points. You race Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Are they doing that again? Do you know?
Yeah, they never did that for us. I don't know who they did that for. I've seen other
Oh,
regions do it, but they never did it for us. And
oh,
no,
okay.
yeah, we're not doing that this year.
Oh, okay. I thought they did. Uh,
No,
oh, okay. Maybe they announced it that they were going to do it, and then due to COVID, they didn't do it or they didn't have the opportunity to do it. Because I thought
I'm
they
not.
did announce it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it was one of the events that we didn't end up going to there. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been there down there once, and that was 2018, and that was for us to go. Well, it's even longer for you, but
Yeah,
for me to go to New Jersey down there, it was bad because the for that national event was the when they took over for Raceway Park in 2018, and we went down there like 2 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, and we just had problems after problems. Not anything on our end, but it was traffic and accidents, and like
really.
it took forever to get there. It seemed like, and we left 2 o'clock in the morning. We didn't get down there until like I don't know noon, 1 o'clock or so. Like it shouldn't take this long, but it was. It was weird.
We love that track. It's they always do. They they do the track wall to wall. They spray it, and there's
Okay.
just so much traction that you can get out of the groove a little bit, and you can kind of stay with it and not worry about
Okay.
losing traction. Me and DJ had one of the best races there that I've ever been in, where we both staged identical. We both left almost identical, and then we ran a 41 to a 41. So it
Oh
was a
wow.
fun race for us.
When you go to uh, New England Dragway, that's your re- divisional. Um, what's it like for you to compete at that track when you do compete there, since it's so close to home? Did I lose you?
Because you got a lot of people watching you, a lot of your friends, family, and then they kind of want to talk to you, but they don't realize that you got a lot of work to do.
Yes.
So that's one downfall. But it stinks because we have a national there too, but they don't allow alcohol cards there, which is unfortunate because it'd be such a nice track to go to for a national. But the regional, it's a fun regional to go to. Unfortunately, we don't get the car count that we'd like. Nobody wants to really travel up north that far, I guess.
I actually want to ask you about that because I've been seeing for a lot of these events, the national events, and it's weird. And I talked about this with Hunter Jones. You may know him out in Arizona.
Yep.
And when so I talked to him right before Seattle, and there was only 6 alcohol funny cars listed on the entry list for that event. And sometimes you'll have like 10, 12, 14, 16, and then other races you'll barely have 6 of them.
You know,
Why is that?
it's got to be the cost. And I think a lot of people are going to the funny car chaos. I think
Yes.
it's a lot more lenient over there, and they could have different combinations, different cars, all kinds of things. So I think that's one of the main reasons people are going there. I think it's 64 funny cars there. That's pretty crazy. That's a lot.
Yes, they did that at Texas, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah,
To begin the season. And
but
they've
they're
been
doing the at the Stampede of Speed this year. They're doing the final there for the funny car chaos.
Yes, right after my birthday, I did see that. It was like October 8th, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, you should fly down there for your birthday.
Maybe, I don't know.
I can get you some free passes.
You sure I can get my own?
Yeah, I'm just saying. He gave me a bunch of them. They're real good seats too.
Maybe sweet passes. I don't get those.
Yeah.
You touched on funny car chaos. and that is owned by Chris Graves. And that sport, that sanctioning body is, it seems like they're just in like the Midwest right now. But it seems like when they do a lot of events, there's a lot of interest from people. I don't know exactly the stands because I never seen like one of those if they have a show or not, but it seems like there is a lot of interest for that sport on social media.
Yeah, yeah, I think there is. I just had a guy. He bought our old funny car. He was doing. I forget what class he was running beforehand, but he bought our old funny car to run at the Funny Car Chaos. So he's going to start running. Will Hand is going to tune for him, and he's running that next year.
Oh wow! So after he bought it, he's got to fix it up for him or do whatever to be ready for next year. He couldn't be ready for one of the remaining races on their schedule. I know
No,
that I
he,
had two in a row.
I mean, he said Will was pretty excited to get the car rolling, so maybe they will make it out this year. But I know he's got to put a converter at it. He's got to. He flew down. He flew up here to Massachusetts, and he sat in the car. He fit in it. So then we had somebody meet him halfway to pick the car up, and I think he's just getting everything ready. He's going through everything thoroughly before he puts it on the track.
Okay. With the Funny Car Chaos, your car presently constructed, the one that you have, could race on there as well, because I know like I've seen like a lot of those events are like nostalgic kind of funny cars.
I'm pretty sure any car can go there now because I think Del Worsham drove a nitro car at one of them.
Yeah, and Scott Palmer too. The
Yes,
top alcohol funny car.
I don't
Oh,
think they
Top
have.
Fuel Dragster. Top Fuel Dragster. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think they have any type of rules,
Oh, okay.
and I think that's why you're going to see a lot more people going there.
Would you consider it?
They have none around here, so I would if they
Yeah.
had some around here. They're all out in Texas or out in the West Coast, but if they had some around here, we'd probably consider it.
Yeah, because I know they did like Nebraska, I think it was, and Iowa. I think it was like Nebraska and Iowa. They did them like back to back, and one, if I'm mistaken, I think it was two drivers. Maybe it was one, but I think it was two drivers at one of the tracks. I think it was Eddyville Raceway Park or something. I think it's in Iowa, and some guy named Dave uh, Galagos and someone else went into the cornfield at the end of the
Oh
track.
yeah, yep. The Nitro Clown car, or whatever it was called.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, poor guy. Yeah.
And he got
Luckily, he's all right.
He's got to rebuild it because they said that the chassis is done.
Yeah. Well, I know the Hull brothers are putting. They're trying to put an organization together for alcohol funny cars and dragsters that kind of just focuses on us, which would be good if they could, if it picks up.
Where would that go? Would that be like a regional series? Would it be like a Funny Car Chaos, or would that be like a touring series?
It's a touring series. He's going to go to different tracks. I just don't know. He doesn't get it finalized yet. He's doing a lot of work on it, which is, they're trying to make the alcohol cars a lot more relevant, which is awesome.
Yes.
You don't see that much, but so they got their own page. I can't remember the name of it right now, but so they got to try to get races all around the country. And he said he's got some over on the East Coast that he's hoping that we can make it next year too.
Okay. Because they're out of Wisconsin, I think.
Yeah.
You said the Hull brothers.
Yep.
When you go to these events, let me ask you this: when you go to these events, these national events, and me, I see this because I when I'm there with you guys, when I'm covering these events, I see this happening, and it happens all the time at these national events when the alcohol cars, like I'll use Maple Grove as an example. come September, when we're there for the national event, you'll see when the nitro cars go, top fuel and funny car, and then the fans just like disappear into
Yeah.
the pits, and then when you guys run, there's like barely anyone in the stands.
I know, it's sad to see. It's like when we come up to the lanes, they tell the spectators, "Hey, come back when the nitro cars are coming back up." But I don't think the fans realize that alcohol cars, funny cars in particular, are the hardest car to drive. There's a lot going on in there. You gotta launch it at the right RPM, cut a good light, shift at the right RPM. It's not just stab and go. So I think they're one of the toughest cars to drive. I've never driven anything else, but um, I feel like it's the toughest car to drive, and I don't think the fans see it.
Unless you, well, I've seen this with videos that drivers have put on social media, where there was this there was this video that I saw earlier today, actually, that I forget who it was, but it was some funny car. I think it was funny car that it was a video of them going down the track, but also a video of them inside the car and everything that they do before a pass.
Yep.
And the lever thing on the side, you got to hold on to that. I think it was actually Chad Green. I think it was come to mind. I think it was him, where it was showing like the NHRA camera being like kind of close,
Yep.
and then as the Christmas tree goes down, and Chad's holding on to this silver lever thing in his hand, and then all of a sudden, as it goes to green, he lets off, and then he just goes.
Yeah. Do you ever see the one where he's an alcohol car driver and his steering wheel breaks off in the middle of the
Yes.
run? You see that one? That one
Yes.
was crazy. Yeah. I used to have a GoPro in my car, and then I got superstitious. And when I took it out, I started winning, so I stopped. I never put it back in again.
Would you put it back in there again?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Like, no, I started winning. No, I don't want to jinx myself.
Yeah. So I don't really want to, but I might do it in some testing.
Well, every athlete, even you got a Patriots hat on, and for those that don't know, that's the New England Patriots. They play in the NFL. Every athlete, every football, baseball, whatever athlete you are, they got some like superstition thing. And maybe that's yours with the GoPro. I started winning. I'm not going to put a GoPro in my car again.
Yeah. Or like your suit. You don't wash your suit in the middle of the season. I don't. Weird things like that. So
even when it's like 100 degrees out, you don't wash
yeah,
that
no.
thing?
Yeah, it just smells and it's crusty next time,
Oh wow. And maybe that's too much information.
Yeah. TMI.
Wow, I never knew that. But I know that like these tracks that you guys go to, like for example, Atco, 2 weeks ago, it was like, I don't know, past 95 on the heat, but with the humidity, it was like pushing over 100.
Yeah, it was brutal.
And then when you guys wearing the fire suits that you guys wear, and all the protection that you guys wear, and the helmet, the head sock, and the shoes, it like I was telling somebody, I think it was even I mentioned to Tom Fox last week that, at least in my opinion, I think it's true. You guys it takes you guys more time to put all that equipment on than it does for you actually to make a pass down the track.
Yeah, it's true. Very true. People think we're nuts with all the work we put into it, and we're only on the track for 5.5 seconds. So
yeah, it's crazy. And even the nitro cars, they go 3 seconds. So
yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, I don't know. I was behind one of those last year. Well, somebody knows who that is, but I'm not commenting on that team. And it was insane to feel when he launched and went down the track to feel it behind you, and being the first time to feel that, wow, that was insane.
I know there's nothing like it. You can't explain it to anybody
Yeah,
because they will not understand it until they're actually there. And then you see them just once they launch, they just get scared.
yeah. And they used to. I don't know the NHRA, to my knowledge, they haven't done this in several years. But at one point, they had that baptism by nitro thing,
Yeah,
where they bring like a first timer out to the track and like put them on this podium stand thing, and have the two cars or four cars go down the track, and then they'll ask them like, "How was that?" And then they'll tell them. But
yeah,
they haven't done that in a while, to my knowledge.
yeah. They probably had it sponsored back then, and nobody wants to sponsor it. Who knows?
Oh, probably that's the case. Because like everything's got to be sponsored today. It's just
Yeah.
insane. I want to get back to your racing. How many more events? You said New England, Maple Grove, Virginia, and Dallas. Is
Yep.
that it? Just four more for you, or could there potentially be maybe one or two added, depending on how you are in the points?
No, because like I said,
We
it's
talked about football.
yeah. My
So
family is it's got to come first. So I'm not going to jeopardize my kids' relationship with my kids. So I'm going to make sure that I'm there for those games, and I enjoy those games. They're very fun. So
what does your family, like your daughter and your son, think about you racing?
they like to watch me. they they think it's fun. Cadence thinks my daughter thinks that she's going to be able to drive a funny car in the future, which is a possibility. But like I said, it kind of scares me for her to have her license now. So to see her in a funny car would kind of scare me even more. So I don't know if that's going to happen. And I don't know if that by the time she gets up to that level, you don't know if funny cars are still going to be around. It seems like it's a dying breed right now, a
Is
dying
it?
class.
I don't know. I'm asking. Is it?
I think so. The car counts are down. I
Yes.
mean, Lebanon Valley, we had 3 cars or 2 cars.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, it was just me and Phil were the only two there.
You and Phil
And you see that
Burkhart.
all over the country now. It's not right.
Wow. Maybe I gotta do a story on it and figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
It could be the prices of everything and the inflation and the parts problem. I do hear that a lot, where I'll talk to drivers and they'll say, I just can't get the parts that I need, and I can't go racing until I get the parts.
I think it's a parts thing. And I think it's NHRA makes you get everything started at the end of the year, which is it's a huge price for everybody. I think they
Okay.
got to start thinking of different ways of getting different drivers out there rather than making us cert stuff every year. And now they want to do A fuel, which I don't think A fuel is going to bring anyone to our class. But I
Yes,
mean,
their announcement like a week or two ago.
yeah, I mean, I guess they're trying, which is a good thing. But I don't see what they want to do is probably take some funny car chaos guys and have them run with us. I don't see them wanting to do that.
So like
I
a
think we get a couple here and there,
okay.
but I don't think we're gonna get. I don't think we're gonna get much more than that.
So like a expedition where they'll just like kind of showcase
Yeah,
what they can do, kind of like what they did before with several street outlaws drivers. They brought them in. I think it was Houston. I think it was. They brought out like four cars and made them do like two passes, and that was it.
well, no, this will actually be part of the class is what they're trying to do.
Oh, okay.
But everyone's got to get new equipment, and then what do you do with your old equipment? How do you
Yeah.
sell it? Things like that. They think it's going to be more savings, but they're not looking at hey, you got to sell all the parts that you already have in inventory.
And can you sell it? That's the question.
Yeah, there's not going to be a market for it.
Because if you can't sell it and you need to buy new parts, and what if you need the money to buy the new parts, and if you can't sell the stuff that you got, you can't buy the new parts.
Yeah.
It's a weird situation for you guys to be in. While I have you here, Matt, I want to, since we were just talking about the track prices, not track prices, but the everything seems to go up, and with parts problems where you can order parts today and you might get it next year now. So, how are you guys as a team dealing with that?
Well, once COVID hit, and we kind of seen that material and parts were very scarce, we made sure to stock up on everything we could.
Okay.
So we have plenty of parts to finish out the year, and we still are ordering parts just in case we have the same problem next year. So making sure our inventory is very thick right now. That's what we did at work too. We made sure we ordered enough material to make sure that we'll never have a problem to tell a customer, hey, we can't make it because we ran out of something. So it means
Okay.
more to our company to say that we got the material than it does to, lose a sale.
Yes. But I guess it will stay in your shop. You can't take all the equipment you need for a race unless you do like a couple of them in a row. But with your team, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, we go with two spare motors, complete motors, and then you got the one in the car still, and then we have boxes of pistons, rods, valve, everything we need. We have plenty of spares in the trailer for. So if we wanted to, we could do 5 races in a row with what we have,
Oh, wow.
but we cannot. We don't have the time from work to do that. So
Speaking of that, for those that are listening and will listen to this later, Matt is the VP of Moduline Cabinets. You see the cabinets behind him. They are the blue cabinets with the Wallies. He's got the Wallies behind him in the cabinets as well. And Matt said that the Texas Motorplex has also had his cabinets installed that your father also works at. For those that do not know, what is your day to day work like or job like at Moduline Cabinets?
well, it's to make sure everything's running correctly. I've been doing a lot of sales lately, trying to get we're trying to hit a couple more industries that we normally don't hit. And that's
Okay.
what I've been focusing on is hitting the other industries. And I feel like we're doing a good job and we're getting our foot in the door. And I think it's going to take off in those industries. A couple of weeks from now, I think we're going to be booming. So our company's been in business for 30 plus years. So we
Okay.
have a good reputation and good customer service and a good product. So I think as long as everything starts to get better financially for the country, I think we'll be all right.
Is that the industries that you are talking about getting into or trying to get into? Is that in any way racing motorsports related, or that's like a public area that you're looking at?
No, we're pretty heavily involved in the motorsports industry, so we don't really need to hit that as much.
Okay.
It's more residential stuff,
Okay.
high end garages, stuff like that. So in government work, so we're hoping to hit those industries hard soon.
And if you do government work, then you might need like a special clearance, I guess.
Yeah, it's just paperwork, really.
Okay. Matt, with your cabinet company, is any of the racers clients of yours?
Yep, there's quite a few. We actually had Doug Gordon just bought some cabinets from us.
Okay.
There's a lot more that I can't think of the names of, but we do quite a bit of drag racers.
What are their thoughts on the cabinets that they receive from you guys?
Oh, they love them. They're putting them in his daughter's trailer for their race cars.
Yes.
So, and he's actually a cabinet maker himself.
Oh, okay.
but not trailer cabinets.
Oh, so yours is trailer cabinets or house cabinets?
It's garage, trailer, specialty vehicles,
Okay.
anything like that.
Okay. I know. Well, at least I was told earlier this year that Doug is kind of like not right now, but in the very near future, he's going to be stepping away, and one of his daughters is going to take over.
Yeah, I think it's 2 years from now. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of weird.
yeah,
And he's actually, um, I could be wrong, but I think he's leading the points right now.
yep, yeah. I think Westerfield's right behind him.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Gordon he's got one of the nicest families out there. They're very, from the father to Doug to the wife to the kids, they're all very respectful people, and they're just extremely nice. Genuine people.
I know Westerfield. He also does boat racing, stuff like that. When you see like Doug Gordon, he travels all over the place to go to these races. Westerfield, Chris Marshall. A few years ago, he even came out here to Maple Grove, and he's from Oregon, I think, or somewhere's in the Pacific Northwest. I think it's from Oregon.
Yep.
And for you to see these drivers, and I know you said you couldn't do it with the situation today with your company and the family, but I could maybe one day when your son gets older and your daughter's already of age now, she's close to driving, she's driving. Um, when things are a few years away, and maybe this opportunity comes around, could you potentially go to more races where you can travel to a lot of the tour events like Doug Gordon, Westerfield, Marshall, Sean Bellemere? They do that.
I'd love to. Yeah, I think we could in the future. We know and we've proven that we have a car that can compete with these people. Um, I really think that we have a top three car consistently. If we could stay out and do enough races, we'd have no problem even fighting for a championship. But I'd love to. Someday I would love to go out there and be able to do the 20 races that they all do and go for a championship. But it's far down the road right now. So my other daughter's in college right now. So I got one in college, one in high school, and then my son. So I got a busy life.
Yes, and racing in the cabinets.
Yep.
With that potentially happening, you may have to go outside of your family, the Moduline cabinets, to seek out a more richer sponsor to go to all those big time races.
Yeah. No, the thing is, it's not the money when it comes to
Okay.
Moduline; it's the time.
Okay.
We don't want another sponsor on the car because it'll take
Oh,
away
okay.
from Moduline. And then you're going to have to commit to, if you have another sponsor on there, you got to commit to every race that they tell you to commit to. And then if something happens during
Yes.
the year, you still have to commit to them. So, but Moduline's our main focus. Moduline financially would be able to go to all the races. It's just time wise with the few guys that we got that are key people in our company, it'd be tough to do.
Okay. How many people work for the cabinet company?
We got 25 to 30.
Okay. And when you guys, being that you're a VP and your father's the owner, I guess, when you guys are out, it makes it tougher for everyone else.
Yes, but I make sure I do them. I still do all my work on my phone. All my emails come to me. If there's a customer that calls, I call them back from the races or wherever I am. Bring my laptop with me and do my work, as much work as I can on the road.
It seems like a lot of drivers actually do that. I've heard like I forget who told me this, but one of the alcohol drivers, he was like, "Well, I got my phone with me, so when he comes back from a run, he'll be on his computer doing business, and he'll take his phone with him, and he'll answer emails or calls or texts up until it's time for him to get in to make the pass. And then once he makes the pass, he gets his phone back from the crew, and then he's going back to his business. It's weird, but hey, if you gotta do that, you gotta do that, right?
Well, that pays the bills to go racing, right? So
Yeah. But have you done that where you were like in the stage of lanes, answering emails, text message, phone calls, and then made your pass and came back and do it all again?
I leave. That's another superstition I have. I leave my phone. Not. I don't bring it in the tow vehicle because like you're in the final round and then your phone's in the tow vehicle and then it's just saying, oh, I expect to win, so I'll call these people afterwards or whatever. I just leave it at the trailer. That's just a superstition, I guess.
Oh,
One of
okay.
those silly things I got.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. I want to touch on. You said her name's Hayden, your daughter,
No, cadence.
Cadence.
Yep.
Cadence, you said that maybe one day she's. You said right now she would like to do it. Down the road, you said that she would like to drive the funny car. As the father, it's got to be nerve wracking for you, one, but you might not want to give it up.
No, I don't want to give it up, and I'm not comfortable doing it. I mean, you just start to worry about your kids, and daughters more
Yes,
so, and it's just tough to. I would never want to see my daughter get hurt in a car. It just
and
scares me,
unfortunately, yes, and I for how shall I word this? So as a journalist, I hate when I see, and this has happened the past few weeks, and it's happened more than once, but it's happened several times in drag racing where you had like 3 or 4 deaths in like 2 weeks span. Like at the end of July, the race weekend that you were at Atco, and
Yep.
then this weekend, producer for the Street Outlaws dies. It's like, what's going on? Where these people just dying at the racetrack?
They say it comes in threes, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But
Yeah.
it was like Craig Weck, some guy named Turbo Tom, um, um, Moto America guy, Scott B. I don't want to pronounce his name wrong. I know it's Scott B, but I don't
Yep.
know what his last name was. He was at Moto America Racing at Brainerd, and he died. It was like, what's going on? And then there was like the crashes in the cornfield in Iowa, and then there was like some guy that same weekend in a black car racing somewheres where it like flipped over like 8 times. It was like weird.
Yeah, it's a dangerous sport.
Yes, well, we all know that, but this is like, why is it got to be all in one weekend? Like
No.
it's it's like some was like maybe it was like not Black Friday, but like Friday the 13th, where everything was like happening on that
Yeah.
weekend. It was crazy, but we don't like to look at that and think
No.
think of the positives instead of
Yep.
the
That's all you can
danger.
do.
And that's I understand your fear of putting her in there, and that'd be anyone's fear. And I'm sure that was your father's fear of putting you in there as well, because you never know that this very dangerous sport that you do, and to not only race, but you're sitting in front of an engine, and that engine can explode, and it's
Yeah.
just like weird to race one of these things. And like I had a driver tell me once in alcohol, we have to be insane to do what we do, but we love it.
Yeah, we are insane. We do all this work. Nobody realizes how much work it actually is, though.
Yes, I agree. And most people don't see this, but I see it because I know. So, for example, they only see when you guys are at the track, when you guys are racing. They don't see the behind the scenes stuff. And when you guys are racing, working on the car, and how much time that goes into it.
Yep.
Also, they don't see all the travel time that you guys put in to get to these races because a lot of them are not very close to your house. They're hours and hours away.
Yeah, it's like a circus, We go there, we set up, race is over, you break down, you leave.
Yep.
The grounds are gone. I mean, they're cleared out. So it's like a circus, just moves from one state to another.
Yeah,
You know?
it's crazy. But all the sports are like that. Not all the sports, but like all motorsports are like that. Like for example, like sprint cars, they'll be like set up. They don't do as much as you guys, but they'll just bring the car out, work on it, and they'll be at this one race like today and like wherever they're at, and then like tomorrow they'll be at another place, and then on like Sunday they'll be at another place, and they're like all hours away from each other that they gotta go. It's like that's insane, but
That's
they
how it was
do.
with like old school match racers. They'd race Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all different tracks every day
Yeah,
just to make a living.
yeah, it's crazy. You touched on maybe doing an expedition, not an expedition, but bringing out some funny car chaos drivers to help out your field. Has there been talks of that, and how has that went?
Yeah, see, that's what I think what they're trying to do with the A Fuel is
Okay,
they're trying to get other drivers from Funny Car Chaos and other organizations. But I don't think I'd have to look at their rules or what they have for rules. I don't think they have like carbon brakes and the stuff that we have that makes our sport a little safer than theirs.
okay,
So that would be something they have to look into. And I don't think it's worth their time to do that. Their money
convert
to
everything over.
yeah, to convert everything to race in our organization. So we'll see where that goes.
Okay, Uh, and how long would that take? We don't know.
No, I don't know. I think there's got to be a couple teams that are already in our class that change to A Fuel because they don't have a budget, and then there'll be there's going to be plenty of others that don't change, and then the A Fuel is going to start running faster, and then they're going to keep adding weight to try to level them off, and I think it's just going to be too much parity.
Okay. Well, I do know a few weeks ago. I think it was a few weeks ago. Stevie Fast Jackson was like best way to say it was he was complaining on social media about like the lack of parity before the Ohio race, and then like a few days later, all of a sudden, he posts like an NJ announces rule changes.
Yeah. Well, they had 30 plus cars 2 years ago, and then I looked at this past race, and they
12 or
had
something.
they didn't even have a full field. So
Yeah,
from what I
almost
understand, they had a sponsorship that was paying them, and now they don't have that sponsorship.
the J&A, right?
Yeah.
The Annie Whiteley and Jim Whiteley sponsorship.
Yep. Yeah.
And I know that they lost the sponsorship earlier this year, and now they got somebody. I see from the press releases, but I don't know what they do for them money wise. I have no idea.
Yeah.
And I do know like some of the drivers who were in pro mods, they don't race anymore.
There's a lot of people that got out of it this year.
Yeah, and one of them, well, one driver who's not racing anymore is going to be my guest on Wednesday. And he's not a pro mod driver, but he's an alcohol driver, and you probably know his name from out by Los Angeles, California. He's very, very successful when he was racing.
Who's that?
Chris Dempke.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And now this year is like non-existent. And like I think he only did like one event.
Yeah. I wonder why.
I have no idea. But
I'll
we're
have
going
to
to find out on Wednesday.
I'll tune in Wednesday to find out.
Yes. While I still have you here, Matt, I want to ask you about this. You were talking about Funny Car Chaos, and one of the alcohol teams, I'm sure you heard about this, is actually involved in Funny Car Chaos. They made one event, maybe two events with that organization the Randy Meyer racing team with Julie Natas racing in their new funny car.
Yeah, I don't think they made it down the track, but
Yeah,
they're
they had
smart.
some problems. Yeah.
They're smart people, but so when they do, they're gonna fly. It's just gonna take a little more than they thought, probably.
Yes, the adjustments and getting used to a whole new car than they're used to.
Yeah. But once
And
they get it,
go ahead.
I think once they get it and they prove it, I think you're gonna see a couple more people going over to it, but I don't think it's gonna be many.
Okay. Do you think like Julie had to make like adjustments, or once you're an alcohol driver, even though it's a dragster that she drives normally, and then she did the funny car? Do you think she had to do any adjustments?
I think she has to. I think she had to adjust her driving, like her steering,
Okay.
because funny cars are a little more responsive than dragsters, from what I
Okay.
understand. But other than that, I think all the controls and everything were the same because the dragster is a fuel too. So other than the steering, I think everything was the same,
Okay.
in my
And
opinion.
and if you don't mind me asking, I don't know. I know you drive the funny car, but for those in like the nitro cars, or maybe all of them, because I hear this often from all different drivers. Don't you like? You can tell from, and this is not bad. This is what the drivers tell me. They can feel it through their butt when something's going wrong, and how they're driving it.
Yeah, you can feel it. You start to grow with the car. You start to learn everything about the car. You could leave, if you tack brakes, you could leave at a decent RPM because you're so used to the sound of the car. So
Okay.
you start to feel the car and what it does, and if there's a problem, and so you get used to it.
How long does that take to get comfortable or get familiar with the race car?
I don't know. I'd say, for me, it was probably like 2 to 3 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I never been in, like I said, I never been anything other than a funny car. My dad's like, "Oh, you raced motocross before, so you should be able to get into this thing, no problem." And it scared me the first time I launched the car, and then I'm like, "What am I doing? Why am I going to do this?" I ended up doing it again, and if you don't respect the car, then you're gonna get yourself in some trouble. So
Yeah.
you always gotta fear it.
Yes. I mean, we don't want no more accidents. We had enough.
Yeah.
Too many this year.
Yeah.
With you said respect the car. What does that entail? I understand you got to know, and you got to be familiar with everything, but what do you mean by respect the car?
You gotta respect the power that it has. You gotta respect that you gotta let off. Like my father says, that the throttle is an on-off switch. If
Okay.
it's not going good, let off. You gotta know when to let off. You don't want to hit a wall, and knock on wood, I haven't hit any walls. And then I've been off the end of the track before. Went to pull my chutes, and they didn't open, but that wasn't my fault. It was one of my crew guys' fault. So,
You're blaming him.
well, he's not on my crew anymore.
Okay, you can blame him then.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, you got to respect it. They're very powerful machines, and you got to make sure that you don't do anything stupid in them.
That's very true. You don't pack your own chutes?
No, I packed my own chutes. It was I had them put new wires for me, new cables for me. They didn't cut enough off the end, so when I pulled the chute, we changed the motor, and then so I didn't have time to inspect it. But when you pulled the lever, it didn't pull it all the way in, so it didn't let the parachutes out.
Oh. And
So
what
I don't. Nobody ever does. My daughter actually packs my chutes, but nobody else packs them except me.
so when she's at an event with you, she packs the chutes, but when
Yeah.
she's not there, then you do it.
Yep.
Okay. So when you are going through that situation where the chutes aren't coming out, you hit the sand traps. But what's it like? It's got to be like um, how should I word it? Like a helpless feeling that, oh crap, whoa, how do I get this thing to stop?
Well, you got to stay calm. I remember the race actually. I had DJ in the right lane, and he beat me in a hole shot. And the only thing I can think of is staying out of his lane and not going near him.
Yes.
If I had to hit a wall to do so, I would have done it. But I made sure I stayed straight and went into the sand straight. So we were able to duct tape the body back together, make it to Virginia, run 270 miles per hour. We won the event and then won the championship that year. So
Wow. Yeah, I was going to ask you exactly about that because when you guys go to the sand trap, it does damage to your bodies, and even when we see it when we watch the TV or we watch NHRA.TV, where these pro drivers in the nitro funny cars, when they hit the red cones, orange cones, sometimes it even causes some problems to the beginning of or the front of the body from the cones.
yeah, it takes them out. I mean, it puts a big dent in them. It's weird.
Yeah,
You wouldn't think they do that much damage, but it's only styrofoam. But the speed you go in, it'll destroy your body sometimes.
yeah. And for those that are listening, these bodies are not cheap. They're like $50,000 more.
Yeah, everything's expensive. There's nothing cheap about them.
Yeah, everything on these race cars are very expensive.
Yep.
Well, thank you for your time today, Matt. Good luck on the rest of your season. Good luck at New England, and then I'll see you at Maple Grove. Unfortunately, I can only be there 2 of the 3 days. I gotta skip out on Saturday. I can't get out of this. I have to be away from the racetrack that day.
All right. Well, make sure you stop by and say hi.
I will do that, and I'll stop over. Well, we got to first figure out where you are because everyone's put it on that one side, and it's just like, where's everyone at?
And the funny cars, sometimes the alcohol cars, they bring you all the way down back. So
Yeah, and like sometimes like you guys are like pitted kind of in with like the pro stock people. It was weird.
yeah,
There was one time like um I was I think it was when Troy Coughlin was racing for the McPhillips, and there was like a pro stock car like right next to his pit.
yeah,
And like Jackie wasn't there right next to him. I was like, hold up, why is this car here? It's like not
yeah.
alcohol related.
Well, what I'll do is I'll message you and let you know where we're at.
Okay. I'll be there Friday morning. Maybe after I make my pit stop when I get there, because I gotta go somewhere first. Yeah, maybe you know about this place because it's so popular there. The food spot.
No, no.
Oh, you don't know?
At the track or somewhere else?
No, it's like 8 miles away from the racetrack.
Is it like a little hole in the wall kind of place?
Oh no, it's the largest restaurant in the United States, largest
Oh,
buffet in
really?
the United States. It's
Oh,
called
no.
Shady Maple Smorgasbord.
Really? I've
You
never
got
been
to
there.
go. You got to go. All the
Check it
teams
out.
go. Well, I shouldn't say all the teams, but I guarantee you, when I'll be there on Friday, when I'll be there on Friday morning, I would not be surprised because it seems like all the time when I go there on Friday, you'll see the elite team there, and you'll see other teams there that go to Shady Maple for breakfast, and then like on Saturday, I seen like Bo Butner there before, Matt Smith, Andy Smith, his crew. There's a whole bunch of racers that go to this place, and being that I'm so close, I'm like an hour and 10 minutes away. I just go for dinner sometime. Just make the trip and go for dinner.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I'll have to send it to you. It's amazing how big this place is, and it's got rows and rows of food. And if you don't like it, sorry, they got rows going this way, rows going this way, and at the end is the buffet, or not the buffet, but the desserts. And so it's like 15 rows of food this way,
Wow.
and is there 3, maybe 4 grills that have like maybe an additional 5 to 10 things that you could say, like, I want a steak, I want a hamburger, whatever. They'll cook it for you.
Nice.
It's all included.
Have to check it out.
Yeah. Now people are gonna have to listen to this for an hour to
Now
hear about it.
it's gonna be super busy next time you go there.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna end this. So, Matt, I'll explain to you off air about Shady Maple, but I'm going to say, Matt, thanks again for joining me tonight. Good luck the rest of your season, beginning in a few weeks at New England, and the rest of your season concluding in Dallas. I'll see you in Maple Grove. Outside of being on Facebook Live and YouTube Live right now, this video can be found on Rumble in the next few days, BitChute in the next few days, and will be converted into a podcast form, an audio form on Anchor.fm. Thanks for joining me again tonight, Matt.
Thank you. Appreciate it.